Well, I'm going to cabbage farming this year and I've decided to document the process and share that with you. So the first thing that you need to do when it comes to cabbage farming is to get your seedlings. And if you're going for a commercial farming, you don't need to buy the seedling. You have to nurse the seed yourself, because if you're going to buy it, that will cost you a lot. So I've gotten my seed. I've gotten some items that I'm going to use to create my bed and nurse my seed. So here with me I have my green fat manure. That's my green fat manure. That's what I'm going to use. Then I also have this product, that is furadan. Okay, that's what I'm going to use to treat the soil. It's a pesticide that works in the soil. So you sprinkle it on the bed so that if there's any pest that is likely to attack your seedlings, it will work on that so that your seedlings will be safe. And I also have my seed here. This is the seed I'm going to use. I'm using the Oslos. That's a variety Mr. Boachi recommended. Actually, this is my second time doing cabbage. The first one I did was for domestic purpose, and I had somebody to assist me. But this time it's for commercial purpose. I have about half a plot of land that I intended to use for cabbage farming. This time I'm doing it all by myself, and so I'll make sure I implement all the things that Mr. Boachi talked about in the video so that I'll be able to get a proper yield. Last year I tried lettuce. I had it correct and I got to a time to the second planting didn't go well because I was doing it on my own. But this time I'll try my best to make sure I get everything correct. So I'm going to use the Oslos. Okay, I bought it last year. That's a 25 kg. That was 90 seeds last year. That's what I bought last year. I intended to do cabbage last year, but it didn't go well for me. But this time, hey, I'm going with a full vim. Okay, so we are going to create our bed. It hasn't been raining for some time now, so the floor is hard. The first thing I'm going to do is to wet the soil to make sure it loosens up before I start with the bed. Okay, this is where I intended to create the bed. Okay, so that's why I'm wetting the soil. Okay, so I think it's okay now. I can be able to work here. So we are going to clear the soil. Make sure you clear the bed. Make sure it's very clean. All the weeds are out from the bed before I nest the seed. That's so try and see. Okay, I think it's okay now because so I'm done with the watering. I'm going to now create the bed. Okay, so let me clear some of these weeds away. I hope we don't have gogomi here because I can't tolerate this. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. This is the beginning of everything. I am going to make sure I create my bed. So make sure you take all the weeds out from the bed. All the weeds should be out from the bed, okay? Because if you leave it, it will start germinating very soon. So far as the root is still in the soil, it will get connected, get some nutrient, and it start sprouting back again. Okay, so now I have my furadan. This is a furadan purple. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle that in the soil. Okay, that is what you need to do, and you mix that with the soil again. And then the next thing to do is to get your green fat manure. That's it. I don't know the quantity I'm using, but I'm just measuring it with my eyes. Okay, so you also sprinkle that on your bed to make sure your seedlings get enough nutrient to grow and become nice. Okay, so if you haven't watched the video I made with Mr. Boachi on the cabbage farming, the process that will be popping up with here or here somewhere there, you go and watch it on cabbage farming. We have also covered the cost involved in cabbage farming. You also have to watch that. I'll be leaving those videos behind just after watching this video. Okay, please, when you're watching the video too, don't be skipping. Make sure you watch it to the end so that it helps the algorithm pick our video and take it far. Okay, so I'm still sprinkling my green fat manure. Yes, so the next thing I'm going to do right now is to let me mix that with the soil first. Okay, so the green fat manure has been infused into the soil. As we keep watering, it will melt and then mix up with the soil. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to get my cabbage seed and nest it. So this is how it looks like bees. If you haven't seen cabbage seed before, yeah, so that's how it looks like. It has been coated with something green, so when you see it, it looks like beads. Okay, so I'm going to drop that on the bed. And with the nursery, some people do it in lines, others do it scatter it. So I'm going to just scatter it on the bed, but make sure you have enough space so that it can grow well. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in the soil one after the other. Make sure it's scattered. Make sure you scatter it. So this is how the nursery is supposed to be done. Okay, so I hope you've seen the seed. Yes, so that's how the seed is. Look at the distance. Look at the spaces I have left here. Okay, so now that's it for the seed. So the next thing I'm going to do is to get sand to cover the seed. Okay, so I'm just going to pick something small. Okay, so I'm going to scatter that on the bed. Okay, I'm using the sand to cover the seed. Okay, it shouldn't be too much on. If not, germinating will become very difficult. Okay, coming out from the soil will become very difficult. So it's just something light. Okay, don't take it like World Cup. It shouldn't be like that. Okay, so don't put all your macho or your cratchy powers on that. Okay, so now that we are done with the nesting of the seed, the next thing we're going to do is to wet the soil again. Okay, we're going to wet our bed again. So let's do that and we'll cover it. I'm wetting the soil again so the way I'm doing it, I'm not sure tomorrow morning I'll be able to water, because it's the water has really infused into the soil. Okay, so now I have some piece of rags here, and I guess somebody is going to ask me, what am I going to use these rags for in this video? Yeah, so I saw this thing in somebody's farm and I also decided to imitate it. You know, Mr. Bachi talked about getting some leaves to cover your seedlings or your seed till it germinates and you remove it. Okay, but when I visited somebody's farm, the person has used rags to cover his seed. And you know, the purpose of this is to prevent the seedling from getting too much sunshine and too much water. It controls the water and it also controls the sun. It also helps keep the soil moist. Okay, so that is what I'm going to use to cover my seed. But if you think you are not comfortable with the rags, you can get some leaves, broad leaves, neem leaves, or any leaves at all, palm branches, or the plantain leaves. I think they use the plantain leaves. Yeah, you can use that one to cover your seed. But I'm going to use the rags because I don't think I can go to the bush and get some leaves. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use to cover my seed. Okay, so when you are done with it, you can water it again, or you can keep it like this, because this one is very wet, so I'm not going to cover it again. Now I think I'm done with this. Okay, so that's it for the nursery. For the further I use, it is not compulsory, but I'm taking Mr. Boachi's advice into consideration because of my experience. Last year I decided to do cabbage and also lettuce here on this same piece of land, but I couldn't do it. The reason being that I net the seed on this same land, this same location, and some few days after the seed germinated, I came back and then all the seedlings were gone, just an overnight. Everything, it was attacked by pests during the night and I lost everything. So this time I've decided to take all the advices into consideration so that that incident will not repeat itself again. That is why I'm very cautious. I want to make sure I do it right. Last year I didn't use the green fed manure too, so this time I want to prove something. I want to make sure that all the advices the experts are saying, are giving us, has been carefully analyzed and implemented. Okay, so that's it for that's the first episode for on my cabbage farming journey. So there's a land for coconut farming available, and like I always said, it's limited, it's not enough. Okay, and it's getting finished, so if you don't come early, you might not get some. And our team, we are not ready to go for another portion again, because the process of acquiring land is quite difficult. So you can cultivate maize on that land, you can cultivate palm, coconut, maize, and so many other things. There are a lot of magic going on there. When it gets finished, we are not going for another one again. So you keep waiting and you might not get some again. Okay, so that is it for the cabbage farming. That's the first thing you need to do. You get your land, you get your seed, you get your manure. You can also get your pesticide or insecticide, and then you create your bed, you nurse your seed, you keep watering it, keep nurturing the seed till it germinates, and then keep nurturing the seedling itself till you get to the 4th week and you do the transplanting. So if you haven't watched the video I made with Mr. Boachi on cabbage farming, the process of cabbage farming and the cost involved, the profit one stand to make starting cabbage farming, that will be popping up just after this video, here and here. I think I'll be leaving the two, the cost and the process. One is here, one is here. Choose the one you like and then watch it, so that it can also serve as a guide for you to start your own this year. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.